and the signs. So what does that mean? That's a topic I haven't discussed that much on Naomi Tarot, and I thought going with a little mini astrology series, we could talk about what Venus means in the signs. Now, Venus for a woman, and I have mostly female subscribers, so I will discuss women first, means that it is how we love as women, and it is how we like to present ourselves physically. But Venus talks about our style. It talks about our taste, what fashions we happen to like, what our personal style is. And it's how we physically present ourselves to the world as women. And it's also how we love and how we want to be treated in a relationship or in a marriage or by a loved one or by family members, even on a platonic level, or good friends. And it's very important because it is the feminine sign besides the moon sign. If you combine that with a woman's moon, you will get more of a story about who she really is in a relationship than her sun sign. Now, our sun sign is how we operate through the world. It's exceedingly important. It's mostly how we are in work, how we appear to most people. But the moon and Venus is how your family often sees you and how you appear in a relationship. The contrast to that is Meghan Markle. She has a Leo sun and she has a Venus in Virgo, so it's switched. So while she overall appears like a Leo to all of us, in a relationship with a man and how she likes to be loved is like a Virgo, and also how she presents herself. So this is why you don't really ever see Meghan in animal print, right? You don't see her in red that much. And actually, before she married into the royal family, you never really saw her in that kind of stuff that much. She has more of a simple, it used to be sexier, but it was always kind of like simple colors, solid colors, neat looking. Even when she wore ripped jeans, she'd put like an Oxford shirt with it. That's like a typical go-to style of her. That's very Virgo. Simple, pared down, sexy, but with an elegant twist. Very much Virgo energy. And the negative point is, while Venus in Leo, for instance, is quite demanding with whoever they date, Venus in Virgo is subtly demanding. So Leo is extrovertedly demanding, but Virgo, when it's in Venus, is introvertedly demanding. So we're comparing the introvert with the extrovert. So it's like picking apart what somebody wears, picking apart how they do things, trying to perfect how they are. And I think we see that in some of the alleged reports that she's tried to mold Harry in the direction she wants him to go. Now, Harry being a Venus, Leo in Virgo, and not a Leo in Virgo, a sun in Virgo, the sun is so important to a man in their chart because men tend to be more dominantly ego-driven than women, that I think he can kind of understand it. And that's where they meet in the middle, actually, where he understands the perfectionism she has in love. So it's not quite as bad probably as people think it is, like with Harry, oh, poor Harry, blah, 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 because he's got a Leo, sorry, I keep saying Leo. He has a sun in Virgo. So he gets it. He's a perfectionist too with people he dates. I mean, the sun is so important to men. It almost overpowers every facet of their life. Whereas women, we have more nuances depending on the planets. I would say for men, the only other important part, like I've always said, besides the sun, is the North Node and the Mars. So we can go to a man's Mars to see how he acts sexually and in relationships. Now, moving on to somebody like Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez is another good example of a woman who is a different sign than her Venus, but she has a Venus in Leo as well. And her sign is Cancer. So that's very feminine, soft energy, but there's a little bit more of a strength and demandingness that people might not see that she's probably had with Justin Bieber or other guys she's dated, because she is a Venus in Leo. She is not a Venus in Cancer. She is not a Venus in Virgo. So it's a very extroverted, demanding personality and more of like a raw sexuality that she likes to portray, allowed, not a raw sexuality, but that's more Scorpio, allowed sexuality that she likes to project through her clothing, especially when dressing for the opposite sex or dressing for a date or something like that. So she's, she seems like this very sweet, motherly Cancer, go with the flow, soft energy. But I bet you anything, guys that she has dated have probably said, oh no, she is not always like that. Watch. Watch what she's like behind closed doors with me. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of like feisty, feline, outgoing lioness energy that you have when you have Venus in Leo. So then we go on to somebody like, let me just think. So Miley Cyrus she's a really good example. I was curious to see what hers were. I guessed that she had Sagittarius in her chart because I felt like this need to rebel and be free is very Sagittarius energy. She's a Sagittarius sun, so that's her ego. That's where we saw her doing all these crazy things. Not that every Sagittarius does that. Haley Baldwin is also a Sagittarius, but you know, a lot of the outlandish rebelling, that raw aggressive male energy that she was projecting sexually, it's very masculine energy. That's all Sagittarius. But she has a Venus in Capricorn. Capricorn is an interesting sign because Capricorn is represented by the Emperor card, which I think is a lot more fair analysis of Capricorn. But Capricorn is also represented by the Devil card in the tarot deck. So when we talk about that, we talk about lust, we talk about overindulgence, sometimes, you know, doing substances, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what she has in her Venus. So I think what we saw was it kind of the Devil card getting reversed in her Venus for a few years there, where she was really wilding out, like going crazy there for a little bit. And, you know, Capricorn can be one extreme to the other. It's like the Devil card where they're like overindulging, lusty, like over the top with everything, this aggressive sexuality. And then it can be like prim and proper and like, I'm going to do things traditionally. You saw how she had that change with her whole physical image because Venus talks about the women's physical image, a woman's physical image. So it's like that aggressive raw sexuality, but then it switched to this prim and proper traditional type of dressing again. So it's very interesting to see how people, you know, deal with their Venus sign. And then we have somebody like Kate Middleton, which is quite interesting because Kate Middleton is a Capricorn, right? But she has Venus in Aquarius. And you know something about her, I could always tell, and I really do like her style, but you can tell clearly from looking at her and looking how she was before she married into the royal family. Her style is being stifled quite a bit, quite a bit. Not Meghan's isn't really. People claim Meghan's is, but Meghan, she's got a Venus in Virgo. Venus in Virgo is actually pretty prim and proper anyways, and not necessarily prim and proper like, you know, Jackie O, but prim and proper in the sense of a minimalist, right? You see a lot of her dresses are minimalist. They don't have a lot of add-ons to them. They're very simple. She wears black a lot. That's very Virgo to do that. And I get it. I understand it. That's probably why I like a lot of her clothes, because that's kind of like my taste when it comes to work, because I feel like I have to dress up like the Virgo. But that's not my overall taste because I have the Venus in Leo. So the real me, you know, is a mixture of the hippie Aquarius and wanting to be like that sexy lioness Leo around men because it's in the Venus. But Meghan, she's got that Virgo in her Venus. So it's very much this, you know, prim and proper, even around guys, kind of all the time look. And I don't mean, I'm using the wrong term, not prim and proper, minimalist kind of look she has. But then she has the moon in Libra, which adds like a feminine flair onto it because Libra is very feminine sign. It's a very feminine sign ruled by Venus. So you combine those two together and you kind of get a woman's style. But you go to Kate Middleton and it's really interesting because her moon sign is so soft. It's Cancer, right? But then she has the sun sign in Capricorn, which is that masculine devil emperor energy. I think Kate obviously channels the emperor more with her Capricorn than she does the devil side of Capricorn. Because she's married into the royal family. It's all about Capricorn can either be like the devil rebelling against everything or be like the father or the emperor of the zodiac following tradition. So it's like she's like, okay, you know, I'm going to follow norms, I'm going to follow rules, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But then she's got that Venus in Aquarius with men. So that's the rebellion. Her rebellion comes out actually with guys and her style and how she would project herself to guys. But I think since she married into this family, that spirit, that Venus in Aquarius has been stifled. And I always got that feeling looking at her clothes. I always kind of liked her style, but I never truly resonated, honestly, with Kate's style. And you can hate on me if you want, all those Kate lovers. I'm not bashing her. I don't bash Meghan or Kate. I make a point not to do that on this channel. This is not a channel where women tear down other women. However, I can see that a sense of the way she's been dressing since she married into that family is very stifled. And I think it's the Venus in Aquarius that has been hampered and put down and stifled a little bit. I think if she could dress the way she wants, it would be a lot more individual and there'd be little quirky details added in there with her style than you might not expect from somebody who's got a Capricorn sun and a Cancer moon, because she's got that balance. Kate almost has the perfect balance of masculine, feminine. She has the mother of the zodiac in her moon and the father of the zodiac in her sun. And then she's got that little rebellion with the Aquarius added in with men. And I wonder sometimes too, if her mother, I believe her mother's name is Karen, I'm not sure, but her mother, if her mother didn't steer her in the direction of social climbing, because Meghan kind of, in my mind, got it in her mind to social climb on her own. Kate, on the other hand, was geared by her mother to social climb. Let's be real here. They both kind of did that. And I said this in another video before. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, guys. I don't. But I'm using the word that's appropriate, I think, in both cases, because the mother steered Kate kind of in the same direction to marry William. I wonder if Kate wasn't steered in that direction, how she would have reflected her style and her appearance a little bit more quirky, a little bit more individualistic and unique in the Venus in Aquarius. Venus in Aquarius, even with the opposite sex, is going to be somebody who would wear a lot of prints and flowier clothes, and she'd have looser, softer looking hair. It wouldn't be as coiffed. But of course, she married into the royal family in this very traditional family. So, she's channeling more of that father of the zodiac, emperor energy, and she's kind of leaving out the Venus in Aquarius, that side of herself. But I think it's definitely a side that's there, and it's very creative. So maybe in her downtime, she channels some of that energy into creative hobbies or something like that. Or maybe, who knows, around the palace, when she's not outside and nobody sees her and she's in her room, she's wearing some quirky, outfit combination. We don't know because we don't see. But that Aquarius spark she has there is definitely something that I don't think people can just totally let go of when they've got Aquarius or Pisces in their chart. Those are like the rebels of the zodiac. Sagittarius is the rebel, actually. Sagittarius and Aquarius are the rebels of the zodiac. Pisces is the old soul. So the two oldest souls at the end of the zodiac are signs 11 and 12, Aquarius and Pisces. And I think that those are very strong energies because they're at the end of the zodiac, and they're kind of hard to let go of if you have them in your chart. So I don't think she's totally let go of that Aquarius energy, but we don't see it on her physical appearance. It's very fascinating to me, though, because I was a little taken aback and surprised when I saw, wait a minute, Kate Middleton's got Aquarius in her Venus. Okay, girl, you have Aquarius in your Venus. You're a little rebel when it comes to guys, and nobody would know that. Nobody would know. But she has this streak that's very wants to go against the norm. And I do feel like, in a way, I mean, she's happy with her life. She looks like she's very happy being a mother. She is a moon in Cancer. That's like her destiny to do that. To be a mother is her main duty and destiny in life when a woman has a moon in Cancer. Or to mother animals or to mother people somehow in their profession. It's mothering is the theme. So she's really meeting her destiny in that way. But a part of her self-expression through physicality and with guys is being stifled a bit. But I would say maybe when she interacts with William, maybe it's very diplomatic, a bit more emotionally withdrawn than you'd expect somebody with a moon in Cancer to be, because she does have Aquarius in Venus. Aquarius in Venus is a very emotionally withdrawn sign. Though we feel emotions deeply, moon in Venus Aquarius and sun Aquarius, anybody who has it in those three placements as a woman, though you feel it deeply, you are still kind of removed from people. So she might be a little less emotional than most people would expect as well. So it's interesting. I spent a lot of time talking about Kate because I feel like she was the wild card, Like, it's not so unusual to me that Meghan has a Virgo Venus, because she is known to be a perfectionist and correcting Harry. And, you see little gestures like nudging him and like putting his hand on her lap, like trying to have everything just so with Harry in the relationship. That's very Virgo energy, trying to have everything just the way you want. And it's channeled into her relationship because she has it in Venus. So I'm really not surprised on Meghan's chart, but Kate was the one that was kind of like, okay, well, you have that rebel somewhere in your chart. You're not all just tradition with the Capricorn and Cancer. So I thought that was very interesting. So those are some examples on how Venus plays into your chart. I hope you like this explanation. And if you're a man and you're watching this, Venus tells you what type of woman you're attracted to. So for instance, if a man has a Venus in Leo, he's attracted to women who have Leo traits. If a man has a Venus in Cancer, he's attracted to a woman who has Cancer traits. And I wouldn't necessarily, if you're thinking of who you'd be attracted to, not attracted to, don't necessarily focus on the sign of the person, because many people can have many different signs in their chart that you don't know about. So like somebody can be a Taurus, but they have Cancer all over their chart. So you would think they'd be more of a masculine, building, earth, consistent, steady, solid energy, when they're Cancer, that's more mothering, maternal, flowy energy, right? Or Pisces would be more like that. So, and they might have that in their chart, but not their sun sign. So don't always judge somebody just by their sign. Go with the essence and energy. So if you're a man and you have a Venus in Cancer, Don't look at the sign of the woman. Look at, does she seem more nurturing? Does she seem more traditional gender roles? Does she seem more feminine with the way she wants to react to me, more submissive? And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't mean in a bad way. I just mean one person in the relationship takes the lead and the other person doesn't. It can be either gender. And if a man has like a Venus in Aries or Leo, he would want a woman who's take charge. I know what I want, right? And that's her ego, usually. Um, and usually what the guy's Venus is what the woman's sun or moon would be, not her Venus, because her Venus means how she acts in love. But usually what men are attracted to when they have a Venus in something is the moon or the sun of a woman, the essence she's acting out. So it's just something to think about. It gets a bit confusing. If you ever want me to do synastry, like comparing two charts to people together to see if they're compatible, or you want me to do your chart, you can order those on naomitarot.com or email me. If you can't get on the site for some reason, go to naomitarot1199@gmail.com. And if you are looking for these special incantations or spells on the full moon coming up on the 14th, the energy is extremely powerful that day. We're going to be in the constellation of Phoenix. It's not a sign, but it is a constellation that represents letting go of the old, uprising out of the ashes to the new. It is an extremely powerful full moon in Pisces, in dreamy, big picture thinking Pisces. If you want an incantation or a tarot reading on that day, order now because it's filling up. And I will only accept a minimum of the 2-question reading. So it has to be at least 2-question readings. And for the incantations, I'll do 1 spell if you just want to order 1 for that. I'm also doing a special readings all day long on the 21st on Mabon, the autumn solstice. That is an important Sabbat for Wiccans and pagans. And it talks about the beginning part leading up to Samhain, the new year for Wiccans and pagans, especially in ancient Ireland and Scotland. But anybody can celebrate that as well. You don't have to be Irish or Scottish to celebrate those holidays, but they're based mostly on Celtic and Germanic holidays. So I'm going to be doing that on the solstice, and I'm also going to be doing the full moon on the 14th. So order your incantations or readings those days if you would like a supercharged energy, and I will do it then. But I'm filling up, so you have to let me know soon, or I'm not going to have any more availability. But again, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you like this astrology series, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.